So we're moving on now to the settings page. And the settings, this is the page that kind of gets you into where you can control, your connections and all that kind of different things. So let's watch this for a second. We're going to go up to again, the top right. That's your settings. It's the three bars. And we're going to hit the settings there. We're going to go up to where it says settings itself. It's the first button on the top. You can see here you're connected. We've done that before. Your Bluetooth name. This is where if you want to change it, you can change the name. The password's the next thing. It's always 6 zeros when you get it. That's our default. So you can leave it that if we want. But if you want to change it, you can change it there. Their Bluetooth icon, it just lets you know that's going on. You can bind or cancel the binds. That means that once you've bound to this system, no one else can come in and change it, which is a nice factor. Battery voltage. This is kind of cool. It lets you know how many, what the health of your battery is. And low voltage protection. Right now, you can see we've got it set at 10 volts. So if the battery gets down to 10 volts, it'll shut it off. You can adjust that however you want. If you wanted to go to 11.9, so you never have to worry about the bike not starting, you can do it there too. Your power on animation, so as you saw in some of our earlier videos, when you hit the power button to turn it on, it goes, it has a little chase feature that just wake up mode basically just shows you that. You can turn that on or off. The brake function we're going to go into later on with the brakes, but you can set any of these to be a brake light too. We'll show you how to do that in a future video. But this is where you find all of this information. So this is kind of your settings, your brain hub of the Shock and Awe Evolved app. Brake voltage, this is especially noted on some of the Indian motorcycles. There's a certain wavelength that you need to be at and a certain voltage you need to be below for it to work correctly. Again, we'll get into that one a little bit later too. Brake animation, same thing. Brake burst mode, these are all features of our Light Strike products that we've had up for quite a while. We've added those into this now, and that's how you access all these. We're going to have videos exactly on those, how to do those individually, because they do a lot. So I'm just trying to show you what the settings page is. It's pretty turn function. The turn function, again, same thing as the Light Strike. So if you want to look at some of our Light Strike stuff, you can see that too. Start mode, this just gives you some different animations on the startup you can use, and you can go through there. It's very simple. Now on all of these, you'll see there's blue writing that kind of describes what everything does on each page. So if you have a question, you don't remember it exactly from watching the video, it does tell you right there. And you can return to your factory settings. There's a delay switch, turn off the lights, all that kind of stuff. The hardware version, firmware version, and all that kind of information is in there. So that's your main settings thing. Now we're going to get out of that settings there and going to go back into the settings. And let's talk about, you can save your data and you can find other data. So let's say you like this the way it is right here. You start playing with it as you get along. Okay, now it's blue. That's kind of cool. But I'd like to be able to save that. So if I go into Save Basic Data, again, you go back into the settings, top right 3 bars, hit Save Basic Data, and it's going to come up and see, I've already saved one called CVO1. That was the green that you had seen earlier. So if I hit Save As, I'm just going to write, let's just call this CVO2. CVO2. Okay. That's going to leave it there, saved successfully. And that's great. I can get out of there. Now if I go back up into the settings and go to My Basic Data, this is pretty cool. So there's both of them there. So CVO2, then if I hit CVO1, that brings me back to the original green that I already had. So if you have something that you really like, you're like, oh, this is a really cool one, I like this setting, you can hit your save. So then it stays in your My Data, and that's all in that settings menu. If you come down lower, you're going to have clear program lists, save program data, and my program data. We'll go into that a little bit when we get into the program feature in a future video, because that does an awful lot. It's really cool what that does. And then the download data, help, and about. Let's hit the help one. I'll just give you the little idea. So this gives you some setup topics, some different ideas, some things you can look at. It's just an excellent way to answer your questions, hopefully when you're sitting in your garage, maybe having a cold one, playing with this. You also have a fault detection, so you can go into this fault detection, and if you hit start here, it'll run through all of the LEDs and ask questions. Are they blue? Are they green? Are they red? And this will help diagnose if you ever have a trouble. Down the road somewhere, maybe one of the pods isn't acting the way, something came loose or something. This is a way that'll find that. So it's just a nice diagnostic to have. So we're going to go back out of there. and move into the about. So this is about section right here. This is handy to have. It takes you to links to the Ciro3D.com website, as long as it's also the goldstrike3d.com website. And if you have questions, there's an email here. You just hit that email at sales@ciro3d.com. Any questions you might have about this, or comments, ideas, just let us know, because we're always, we're always monitoring that, of course. A little bit lower is your app version. This is version 2.7. By the time you watch this video, I'm sure we'll have 2.8, 2.93, whatever, because we're constantly updating this as things change, as phones change, and as we come up with new ideas for it too. It's a lot of fun because we just constantly have new ideas. And then it tells you below that it's just about your phone. So when you get this all set up and it's working great and stuff, or if you have any questions about it and you call our tech line, they're going to ask you, the first thing they're going to want to know is what version you have and what phone do you have, and then we'll be able to walk you through any of their questions you might have. So that's the basic amount of the settings. It does a lot. It's kind of the brain box of everything here, and it allows you to monitor your battery and save your data and all that kind of stuff. And with that, with the next is to go into just every one of these. On the bottom here, you've got your different settings, your basic preset, program, music, speed, and race. What do all those do? Well, the next series of videos is going to show you that. So stay tuned for those, and we'll see you in the next one.